Hey everybody, hey everybody, John the Other here, obviously. And I'm going to be responding to a question that was asked of me in a comment on one of my videos. Now I was a little reluctant because I thought maybe I'm going to sort of violate this person's privacy or, you know, something like that. But they asked their question in a public comment, so I think I'm okay to respond in a public video. The question is as follows. John, forgive me for not answering your question, he's referring to my last video, and instead asking a different one, but I would like a sincere answer to this question which literally haunts me and keeps me awake at night. My question is, what recourse do we have left? The law has already failed us men and society as a whole and will continue to fail us. I agree. To initiate the use of some sort of mob justice is, as has been discussed by you and others, fairly immoral and wrong, and simply protesting and choosing as men to not involve ourselves with women and to avoid them is rather pointless because of all the men who will continue to support feminism because they want some easy access to, well, pretty much sex for the most part. Now, I'm going to pause there. There's more of the question here, but I want to briefly address that before I continue reading. He says pointless to walk away. He's talking about MGTOW. That's a question of what it is you're trying to accomplish. So, is it pointless or isn't it? That's a question of what it is you want to actually get done. So let's keep reading. So what exactly are men to do? What do we do when women are able to murder children for any reason? What do we do when a woman can actually literally murder a defenseless 4-month-old infant, or anyone for that matter, and get away with hardly a slap on the wrist? I have no answers that do not end with violence, which means that I have no answers, because violence is not something I will allow myself to stoop to. So I come to this sanctuary from insanity to consult with the real men and ask you, what are we to do? I don't like the use of real men there, but that's a minor quibble. The middle part of that question, where he says walking away is pointless because other men will support feminism, right? It's like, yeah, okay, I withdraw my support, but everybody else is still marching in the big feminist parade. So how am I to take it down? Well, that's the question of what it is you're trying to accomplish. I was, for a long time, an MRA, a men's rights activist. Now, I don't know, there's lots of insulting acronyms. Misogynist rights activist, men's rights asshole, and so on. The men's rights movement is largely focused on many of the same issues that MGTOW are focused on, but with a different end goal. You know, there's the suicide problem, mostly male. The workplace death rate, almost all male. Male infant genital mutilation, normal and acceptable, while female infant genital mutilation is completely monstrous, recognized as monstrous. It's just as monstrous to do it to boys, but we, as a society, that's fine, just keep doing it, just cut off the end of his dick, mutilate him. Sexually mutilate a little tiny, teeny infant. Yeah, no problem. Homelessness, a predatory family court system, a criminal family court system, the domestic violence laws and public education, which encourages violence against men and encourages a public misconception about the nature of domestic violence, which seems designed to perpetuate it and keep it going. And this list of problems goes on and on. Public demonization of men. The men's rights movement is trying to engage the public in recognizing not that these problems exist, because the public already knows they do, but that they're problems, right? Like male homelessness. The public knows that most of the homeless are male, doesn't give a fuck. It's not a question of, do we know that most of the homeless are male as a society? Of course we know. Do we know that most suicides are male? Yeah, we know that too. We know that most workplace deaths are male, etc., etc. We just don't, as a society, give a fuck. Because as a man, you don't actually count, you're disposable. And the men's rights movement is an attempt to engage the public to go, wait, these are people too. Let's actually stop looking at their lives as disposable appliances and commodities and have the same care for them that we have for women. It's not going to happen. So the question, walking away, is pointless if your goal is to engage the public in these questions. So we have the MRA hangover here. On the other hand, and there's another issue of children being murdered. Okay, so I'm going to come back to that. On the other hand, The MGTOW movement, which is another sector of the manosphere, is recognizing all these exact same problems, and also recognizing that there will be no concern for you. Fuck you, you're gonna die, suck it up. And we're gonna spit on you and belittle you if you dare to look at yourself as a person worthy of concern. So, if you want to change the whole society, well, I don't know, 2 or 3 generations from now we might be getting somewhere, but I'm not willing to wait for that. If on the other hand you want to change your own life so that you are not chewed up, well, we can fix that right now. We can fix that instantly, starting with you, because it's your life, which means disengage from societal and legal expectations and norms that are destructive to men and beneficial to other people, where you sacrifice for other people's convenience. So MGTOW can solve those problems for you in your own life right now, instantaneously. But of course the question also includes, what are we to do in a world where women can quite literally murder little toddler children with little to no consequence? Well, that's an MRA question, and that is it's a non-starter. I mean, I banged my head on that problem for years and got mocked and spat on and, you know, like, blacklisted. And if you dare as a man to challenge the existing social paradigm and try to engage the public in your challenge, it's a non-starter. So women are going to continue to murder children and their boyfriends and all the other business of the homelessness and the family courts and suicide and child mutilation and so on. But here we come again back to, you know, overlap between the walking away and the reformers. The MGTOW and the MRM movements, I call them the reformer movement, which is a men's rights movement attempting to reform problems in society, and the abandoner movement, which is guys just walking away, the MGTOW. If you take the MGTOW path and you still care about other people, you can evangelize the MGTOW path to have other men also take care of their lives individually. You can't rescue the society. It's a non-starter. Now, I know there's MRMs who think you can. I used to be one. It's not going to happen. But if you evangelize MGTOW and enough guys start taking a MGTOW path, the outcome will be a change in society in the long run anyway. But the problem is you can't go at it with that as your overt goal, because if you engage with this public caretaking, trying to solve these public problems, the oppositional activists, feminists, blue pill and so on, will be able to see that you're trying to help other people and will taunt you and belittle you and attack you and smear you and yank on your emotions and provoke in you anger so that then they can slap you with it, right? Now, anger is the correct and normal and socially well-adapted response to persistent injustice. But the problem is, once you're angry, they've got you under control. They've got control of your responses. So the only practical answer, as far as I can see, is the walking away, which you say is pointless, but it's not, because it'll fix your life right now. And if you evangelize it to other men, they'll fix their lives too. So I hope it wasn't too horribly rambly, and was at least somewhat of an answer to your question. Thanks very much for watching, and of course, have a lovely day.